Hello students. Today we are learning lesson 9 from English Bal Bharati textbook for standard 5. Try anti-wanty gongolope. You must have seen hundreds of insects of all shapes and sizes. I'm sure you haven't met Try anti-wanty gongolope. Let's meet it today. This video was made just for you. Do remember to like, share and subscribe. Chapter 9. The Try anti-wanty gongolope. Does the title seem difficult to pronounce? Don't worry, students. As we go along, I'm sure you'll say it fluently. So come along, let's enjoy this unusual poem. First, I shall read the poem and then slowly I shall give you the explanation of each stanza. There's a very funny insect that you do not often spy, and it isn't quite a spider and it isn't quite a fly. It is something like a beetle and a little like a bee, but nothing like a woolly grub that climbs upon a tree. Its name is quite a hard one, but you'll learn it soon, I hope. So try, try anti-wanty, try anti-wanty gongolope. It lives on weeds and wattle gum and has a funny face. Its appetite is hearty and its manners a disgrace. When first you come upon it, it will give you quite a scare. But when you look for it again, you find it isn't there. And unless you call it softly, it will stay away and mope. So try, try anti-wanty, try anti-wanty gongolope. It trembles if you tickle it or tread upon its toes. It is not an early riser, but it has a snubbish nose. If you sneer at it or scold it, it will scuttle off in shame, but it purrs and purrs quite proudly if you call it by its name and offer it some sandwiches of sealing wax and soap. So try, try anti-wanty, try anti-wanty gongolope. But of course you haven't seen it, and I truthfully confess that I haven't seen it either, and I don't know its address, for there isn't such an insect, though there really might have been if the trees and grass were purple and the sky was bottle green. It's just a little joke of mine, which you'll forgive, I hope. Oh, try, try anti-wanty, try anti-wanty gongolope by C.J. Dennis. Now let's understand the meaning of some words as well as the explanation of this stanza. There's a very funny insect that you do not often spy. So here the poet is beginning the stanza by saying that he has seen a funny insect that you do not often spy. Spy is carefully observe. Okay, there are little children, isn't it? Want to know what kind of insect it is, want to, touch it. So here the poet is telling us that it's a funny insect, but yet it is warning us that do not often spy. And it isn't quite a spider and it isn't quite a fly. So here he's saying that he's describing how this little insect is looking. So the poet himself cannot describe it, and he's saying it's funny insect. So he means that he has never seen such an insect before. So he is trying to describe it to us, and he's saying that it is quite a spider, that like it isn't like a spider also, it's not looking like a spider, or isn't quite a fly, so it is not looking like a fly either. It is something like a beetle and a little like a bee. So here he is saying not like a spider, not like a fly, but a little bit, something like a beetle. So a little bit like a beetle and a little bit like a bee. So here when the poet is describing it to us, we can picturize, we can try to, think about what kind of insect it could be. So I want you all also, children, to imagine what kind of insect could it be. Then the poet continues and he says, but nothing like a woolly grub. Now, what is a woolly? Woolly is soft and, like wool. So soft, very soft like wool. Grub. Grub is a baby insect that has just hatched out of an egg. So it's a very small insect that has hatched out of an egg that climbs upon a tree. So this is, the poet is saying it is nothing like a woolly grub that climbs upon a tree. So when you imagine woolly grub, what insect can you think of? Yes, the caterpillar, isn't it? The caterpillar also, as soon as it is hatched out, it starts, it's very very soft, it is very very woolly, and it starts climbing upon the tree. Then the poet continues and it says that its name is quite a hard one. Okay, so the poet is admitting that this insect's name is a difficult one. It's quite a hard one. But it's giving us hope, and he's saying that, but you'll learn it soon. So he's saying, don't worry, you'll learn it soon. I hope. Okay. And the poet is telling us, so try. How do we pronounce this word? We say we break it into many parts. Okay. And we say try, try anti wanty, try anti wanty gongolo. So here we got that word, isn't it? If we break it, we get the word. So often you may come across many difficult words as you read stories. So what you should do is you should try to break the words. You could also go to the dictionary and find out in the dictionary, some of the dictionaries, they have given us the pronunciations, so you can look up for the pronunciation, or you could make use of the internet where they have given the pronunciations of all the words. So whenever you have any difficulty in pronouncing any word, we can just look up into the dictionary or go to the internet to find out the pronunciation. So let's try this word once again. It's try, try anti wanty, try anti wanty gongolo. I hope you got it. Let's see what the poet wants to tell us next. The poet says that it lives on weeds and wattle gum. What are weeds? Weeds are unwanted plants, plants that are growing on undesirable places, places that they are not wanted over there. So those are called weeds. And wattle gum. What is a wattle gum? It's a gum or a sap that comes out from a tree. Okay, so it lives on weeds and wattle gum. That is, it eats weeds and it eats wattle gum and has a funny face. Okay, so here the poet is telling us that this insect doesn't look anything like we have seen before, but it also has a funny face. Its appetite is hearty. What's an appetite? Appetite is a desire for something. So here it is food. Okay, so its appetite is hearty. Hearty means full of. Okay, cheerful. Cheerful here it could mean that full of. That means it eats a lot, isn't it? If you have seen a caterpillar, the caterpillar will, eat lot of food as soon as it comes out of its egg. Okay, so that is how the poet is describing that this insect's also appetite is hearty and its manners a disgrace. Disgrace means undesirable. Okay, so he says its manners are very very horrible. Okay, it is mannerless, it does not have good manners. So this is how the poet is further describing the insect. And the poet is telling us, when first you come upon it, so as soon as you see it for the first time, it will give you quite a scare. So you'll get scared of it, you'll get frightened of it. Okay, isn't it? Sometimes when we suddenly, some insect comes near us, we really get scared. Okay, so that is what the poet is warning us. And he's saying that the first time if you see it, you'll really get scared about it. But when you look for it again, you find it isn't there. Oh, so funny, isn't it? So he's saying, once you get scared, what happens? You look away, no? Isn't it? But again, when you go to look for it, it isn't there. It has disappeared. Okay, you will not be able to see it. Okay, and unless you call it softly. So here the poet says that you have to call out to it softly. Maybe even that insect has got scared of you, isn't it? Insects are also very, very, they get scared of humans, scared of things. So maybe it has got scared and it is hiding somewhere. So the poet tells us, and unless you call it softly, softly means with a gentle voice, it will stay away and mope. So, if you don't call it, it will stay away. And what is mope? Mope means to feel sad and dejected. Okay, so maybe it is also sad, it is also scared of you. So, you have to call it very, very softly. So, how do we call it? Here again, the poet is breaking the words and telling us, so try, try anti-wanty. Try anti-wanty gongolob. So again, we've got the word, isn't it? So that's how the poet has broken the words and it's become very easy now for us to pronounce the difficult word. Now let's read and understand this stanza. It trembles if you tickle it. Trembles means to shake with fright. So it gets very frightened if you tickle. Tickle means just touch it so that you feel very uncomfortable and you start laughing. Okay. So that is called tickle. So it trembles if you tickle it. So it will start shaking if you tickle it or tread upon its toes. So tread means to stamp, to walk upon its toes, isn't it? Anyone will get scared if you walk upon somebody's toes, isn't it? So it is not an early riser. So here the poet is telling us that it doesn't wake up early. So you will not find it early in the morning. So all those who are early risers will not be able to see it. Okay. So it comes out late during the day. So the poet is describing that most of the insects wake up very early, isn't it? We'll find the insect moving about by nightfall. They're all gone off to sleep. But here the poet is describing that it is not an early riser, but it has an snubbish nose. Now, what is a snubbish nose? It's slightly turned up nose. Okay, so just like when you don't like something, you wriggle your nose, no? So that way, but it has a snubbish nose if you sneer at it. Sneer means show an unpleasant face. That is, if you tease it teasingly, make funny faces at it as if to tease it. Okay, so if you sneer at it or scold it, it will scuttle off in shame. Scuttle off means run off. Okay, so if you scold it, tease it, it will run off. Okay, in shame. So it feels shameful that I'm not liked by anyone. So it will run away, but it purrs and purrs quite proudly. What is purr? Purr is a sound that the animals make. Now, which animal does purr? The cat purrs. Okay, so the sound that the cat makes is called a purring sound. So, that is how the poet has described this insect sound to the sound of the cat. So, we have to imagine all these things that the poet is telling us and try to picturize the insect, and it purrs and purrs quite proudly if you call it by its name. So if you call it by its name, it will come to you. It will purr, start making that sound of that purring sound proudly. Isn't it, children? When we have pets at home and we call out its name, the pets will respond to us. If you have a cat or a dog, it will come running to us. If you have other birds like a parrot and all that, it will respond to you. So, in the same way, now the poet is saying that if you call out its name, it will come to you proudly. That means it has become your friend, it has become your pet now. And offer it some sandwiches of sealing wax and soap. What's a sealing wax? It's kind of a wax where they use it to make seals. Seals is to put on documents and papers and certificates. Okay, so if you give him sandwiches made out of the sealing wax and soap, and so he's saying, try calling out its name, and try it by saying, try, try anti-wanty, try anti-wanty gongolo. So here the poet is saying, try its name, give him some food to eat, and it will surely become your pet and will start liking you, and you will not be scared of it, and the insect will not be scared of you. Now, let's move on to the next stanza. But of course, you haven't seen it. So here the poet is saying he's so sure that we haven't seen it. Okay. And I truthfully confess. So, confess means to admit one's mistake. Now, why is the poet saying like this? Okay, he's saying, I'm sure that you haven't seen it, and I will confess something. I will tell you all something that I haven't seen it either. Huh? How can that be? Isn't it? The poet was describing the insect all this while, and he's saying that he has not seen it. How can that be? That I haven't seen it either, and I don't know its address. Address means I don't know where it lives. Now, this is strange, isn't it? All the while the poet was describing such an insect, unusual insect, and now he's saying he hasn't seen it, nor he knows where it lives. For there isn't such an insect. Oh my. Okay, how can that be? There isn't such an insect, though there really might have been. So, isn't it contradictory statements that the poet is talking to us? He's saying there isn't such an insect, but there really might be. Okay, just can't understand what the poet wants to tell us. When it will be if the trees and grass were purple. So, how can the trees and grass be purple? So, he's saying only if the trees and grass were purple and the sky was bottle green. Now, bottle green is a color, it's a name of a color. And which color it is? It is a very dark green color. So, bottle green is a very dark green color. So, here he's saying the trees and grass will be purple and the sky will be bottle green. Only then we will find it. Okay. It's just a little joke of mine. So the poet here was all the while joking with us, isn't it? It's just a little joke of mine, which you'll forgive, I hope. So he's asking for forgiveness. So all the while the poet was just having fun with us. Okay, so isn't it? We also joke a lot with our friends and family members. And it is fun to have joke, and it should be a healthy joke. It should not harm someone when you're joking. Okay, so whenever you're playing a prank or you are joking with someone, you should see that you're not hurting somebody's feelings or hurting physically. Okay, you can joke, you can have fun with people, but then we should be very very careful. And at the same time, we find all sorts of things in our fairy tales, isn't it? So you also should try to imagine a different side of scenario, where now see the poet is describing that the trees and grass are purple and the sky is bottle green. So you should also try to imagine different kind of a world, how it would be. You could imagine different types of insects, different types of animals, maybe different types of fruits and flowers, and the world will be very different. So here, just like the poet, we also should make our mind run wild, and you can even jot down, write it, draw about such an insect, and create a beautiful story or a poem with such imagination. So do try to do something, create an insect or an animal or maybe a tree or something of your own from your imagination. To check your answers to all the textual questions and for free worksheets, visit our website at www.jkacademypro.com. You'll get the link in the description box below. Do remember to like, share, and subscribe.